G'day everybody, welcome to the LillyPillyStitches studio vlogs. My name is Lisa and I'm coming to you from Brisbane in Queensland, Australia, and it's a bit overcast today, but luckily I've got good light. I have plenty of good light in my craft room, and as you can see I have a nice backdrop today. I have my I don't know where to sit. I have my Stacey Nash Primitives Old White Farmhouse sampler behind me, and this guy is a little bit crooked. I have my Margaret McNown's 1828 sampler by Fox and Rabbit Designs that was recently framed, and just out of picture is my grandparents, my paternal grandparents on their wedding day. I'll show a picture of that later. And a painting that I recently did. Don't worry, I'm not an artist. And I've got this cute little sign that I got from the Reject Shop, so I thought I'll hang that on my wall for Easter. The Reject Shop is an Aussie version of the Dollar Tree or the Pound Store. So yeah, so it's been a bit longer, a few days extra, because I didn't record at the end of last week, because we had a death in the family, unfortunately, and I just didn't feel like it, obviously. And also I've been suffering with some terrible joint pain in my head, would you believe? Joint pain in my neck and head and shoulder, and on some medication that's upsetting my stomach, so just been having a really fun time. Yeah, so anyway, that's that. Sorry, my face is a bit red because I had a shower recently, as you can tell by my wet hair. Yeah, so I have, this is a studio vlog, and I usually talk about knitting, crochet, sewing, cross-stitch designs, because I'm the designer behind LillyPillyStitches. You can check out my Etsy store, LillyPillyStitches, or my Facebook page under the same name if you would like free patterns that I share on there. And LillyPillyStitches on Instagram, Lisa Loves Yarn 76 on Ravelry, and I have actually been updating my Ravelry projects lately. And Lisa Loves Stitchin if you would like to follow my personal Instagram page. I sometimes still put updates on there about my shop stuff because I don't have many followers on my shop, so hey, follow my shop on Instagram, that would be really great. I've got 198 followers, so I'm hoping to get across the line over the 200 mark. That would be great. Yeah, so today I have a cross stitch FFO, which was a new start and a new design, and it's a free pattern, so stay tuned. You may have already watched the standalone video that I did about it, so I won't go into huge detail again about it, but I wanted to show that here today in case you've missed it. And I have a new cross stitch start, because my whip go called for one new cross stitch start plus working on the Janet Angus sampler, which I haven't done any work on, but I'll just refresh you on that later. I've got some small progress on my Sweet Dreams cross stitch pattern by Lavender and Lace, a potential new sewing project, like garment sewing, so that's exciting, a finished sewing prototype, and what else, some significant haul, as in 2 items that were not that cheap but desperately needed by me and Wayne because he winds my yarn, so stay tuned for that. Okay, also exciting news, I did share it on my other YouTube page, but I'm not sure if I shared it on here, but our girl Paris, our mini Labradoodle, she had her first litter. She had 6 puppies, 2 ginormous ones, 1 run to the litter which sadly didn't make it. It had 24 hours of specialist vet care in a hospital, but it just wasn't enough. It was just underdeveloped, unfortunately. But the other 5 puppies are thriving. Paris is laying down the law with feeding routines, and she's just taken motherhood in her stride. So she's such a cutie. We're so proud of her, and we miss her, but she looks really happy, and we're looking forward to seeing more puppy pictures, which I'll share on social media when I get it. Yeah, we miss her, but she's doing really well. So, and we're looking forward to when we get to have a visit with her and have puppy cuddles. I mean, how good's that? So she has 2 girls and 3 boys, and 3 are chocolate, like dark chocolate, but they could change because she started out dark chocolate and now she's like really fair. And then a choc sable that looks like her with a splash of white on its chest, and a little boy who's looks like the dad, Toshiro. He's really huge and has white fur with big chocolate splotches all over him, so he's called a party colour. Yeah, very, very cute. So that's our exciting news on Paris. And Sooty's missing her, so I took her to the dog park yesterday and let her have a run around with some of the local dogs. She wasn't quite sure about that, but she enjoyed it, and she slept like a log last night, so I think she really had fun. Yeah, so let's get into the cross stitch. So first up is the fully finished New Start Finish FFO New Design Floss Friends. Perfect for a gift for that special stitchy friend. I'll just see if I can get that to focus without me in it. It's got some little spools of thread. Oh, go away, Lisa, don't look at me, camera. It's got some little spools of thread, and this lovely 1933 production fabric that I got from Spotlight years ago. Counting pins, one's a teapot, and then finished with some rickrack braid in lemon with some pearlescent plastic beads, as is the trend at the moment, and some Anna Green Gables fabric on the back. And it's just a really cute little pin pillow, perfect for a stitchy friend if you want to have a quick gift, because it took me less than 2 hours to fully finish, stitch, fully finish everything. And also as the smalls exchange for a retreat, which it's going to be my smalls exchange, because I know there's no chance in hell I'm going to get my stitch camp design finished in time for May, and I don't want to push myself. Yeah, I don't want to stress myself out. I want to just relax and go into the retreat feeling relaxed. So this is what someone will get at the retreat. So that's Floss Friends. So that's really exciting. So you can get that free pattern from my Facebook page, LillyPillyStitches. Head over there. Oh, phone call. Sorry about that. Had a phone call. So I've got... I'll just refresh your memory on this project that I'm going to be working on this next fortnight, which is the Janet Angus sampler, which is available in my shop. It's based off the life of my many times great grandmother, who was a Scottish convict, and that's the Millbank prison in London where she stayed before she was transported to Australia. And obviously there's a Scottish thistle there, and I've started the alphabet, so I want to get back into this. It's on 46 count baked clay by Fox and Rabbit Designs, and yeah, I really want to get back into this. It's all DMC, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into this project. So that's that one. Another project I want to start this week is the model for my Mother's Day little tiny small. I couldn't find my mini hoop, but I found it now, so now I can start it. I'm going to be using the same fabric I use for Floss Friends, which is this 32 count even weave, and that's one of the colours. So I had started this on pale blue fabric, but it clashes with the colours. So yeah, so I'm going to get stuck into that. That's all DMC as well. And the stuff I've actually done work on is and I don't know what I did yesterday with the picture of this, but it's the Sweet Dreams by Lavender and Lace, and it's on 36 count lemon butter from Jay's Cross Stitch, and it's 1/2 threads using the call for DMC. So this one, I started the cream of the baby's gown / blanket shawl thing, and then I got sick of that, so I went and started on the blue part of the mother's dress because I was sick of looking at cream. It was sending me cross-eyed. So that's what I have done so far. It's looking really pretty. I did make a boo-boo in counting, so I'm fudging it, and it's, you know what it's like, it's turning into a bit of a domino effect, but anyway, I'm winging it because I don't want to pull it all undone. But I really love it. It's really a sweet little sampler. Oh, well, not sampler, but you know, sweet little design. So I'm enjoying that. But that'll probably go on the back burner now till the next rotation. I have a new start in cross stitch, so my Whip Go pulled up a blank for new starts. So I recently purchased the Dimensions kit from Spotlight for Victorian Charm. And I've started in the middle of the project about there, where my pointer finger is, just near the window. So that's fun so far. The only thing I've found is, although I was worried the dark fabric would be really hard to stitch on its navy blue Ada 16 count, I started stitching on it, and because the Ada is so stiff, it was shredding the, I tried to pull undone a mistake, because the Dimensions kits, the final leg of the cross goes in the opposite direction to how I do it, and I forgot that I was going the other way, and I started going back my normal way, so I had to pull it undone, and when I pulled it undone, it just shredded, as it pulled through the stiff Ada, it just shredded the thread, which was really annoying. But anyway, I've had a reasonable little start on it, nothing major. That's it there. So that's just above the windows. So I'm very happy with that. And being Ada, it's very easy to stitch on. And this particular project, although there is some confetti stitching, gosh, dropping everything. Although there's some confetti stitching on the roof, and oh, I'm not having much luck. I'm gonna fall, sorry. There are blocks of just solid colour, which makes it nice to stitch on. So yeah, so looking forward to getting some progress on this one. Now I'm gonna make a noise again because I'm a klutz. But you knew that already, didn't you? Oh dear. Can't take me anywhere. Right, put that behind me. Right. What's that? So that's the cross stitch. Now I'll get on to sewing. So I been pulled out my slow stitching project, which I started I think last year, and I've just started adding some embroidery stitches here, just some random straight little stitches like along the border of the ribbon, and I followed the wavy lines in the fabric, but you won't be able to see it probably, and added some French knots to match the fabric, just using some random DMC just here. So that's what I've done so far on that one, and that'll just be a wall hanging or a framed piece. Yeah, so I'm having fun with that. And new sewing project I've sort of started. Can you call it a start if you haven't cut fabric yet? It's a garment, it's a dress. The pattern is the Montana midi dress by Style Arc AU, and it comes with a sample of the suggested fabric to use, which is a linen. I decided to go with a linen cotton blend. It's a little bit thicker because I was concerned that a thinner linen dress might be a bit too see-through. Yeah, so I've put a sample of my fabric on the actual pattern with some double-sided tape. But this is the fabric they suggested, which is a bit thinner, and then this is the one I'm using, which is like a dusky pink linen cotton blend with polka dots, and this is the dress. So I'm looking forward to making this, and it comes in sizes from really small, but the pattern one that I got was sizes 18 through to 30, so really good range. And I've cut out all the pattern pieces, so I'm ready to go, and I've washed my fabric. I was nearly about to cut into it and went, oh, I forgot to wash it, so I serged some of the raw edge so that it wouldn't fray when I washed it. So this is my fabric. I have lots and lots of this fabric. I got it on sale at Spotlight about 18 months ago, and so I've got plenty to make, even maybe 2 dresses probably. So if I make a mistake, I might have enough for a second dress to try again. So that will be, oops, I'm throwing everything around, hopeless. So that's that project that I'm hoping to start soon. And I made a prototype for a little Notions pouch, which I'll make some modifications to, and it's not perfect, it was just a mock-up. And it's padded with, it's using quilting fabric, Australia, Jocelyn Proust quilt fabric, and lined with bamboo batting, quilt batting, and another quilt fabric that's like a pink polka dot. And yeah, so I made this cute little, and it's got a vintage button on the outside, but the button's just decoration, and then I've got an actual hand sewn in press stud in it. So this is the Notions pouch, and then I have a bowl pin just hooked in here, but I'll probably add something to hang them off. And then I've got like my little mini crochet hooks for picking up drop stitches, and my Knit Pro row counter, loop earplugs. They are great, especially when I'm in the office and it's really noisy. This cuts off every time it gets to 15 minutes, I think. And then my T-pin for tightening my cables on my knitting needles. So that all goes in there, and then I can pop that straight into my knitting bag, which is a great segue into my work in progress on my cardigan. So I've finished the garter bottom of the cardigan, and now working on the, I've picked up stitches and working on the garter shawl collar. Now the issue with picking up a shawl collar on a raglan thing is that if you don't pick it up right, it can pucker. And I picked it up correctly and it didn't pucker, but there was some loosey-goosey stitches in the coloured section And so I did a mattress stitch to try and shut that gap, which worked, but it puckered it. So I'm not sure, I might, if it doesn't block out, I might have to try and pull undone the mattress stitching and then redo it, but only picking up every sort of 3 stitches so that it doesn't pull. So it does look a bit puckered, and it also looks puckered because it's part way through a row. So that's it there. So I've only done about an inch. I've got 11 rows out of 29 done, and I just did a normal bind off on the edge, which turned out very neat, and I did it really loose, but you're meant to do an Icelandic bind off, but I couldn't be bothered trying to learn it and then worry about dropping stitches and having to pick them up in garter. Like, no, not going there. Not this time. I'm so close to a finish, I'm not going to go there. So yes, I'm just working on the collar here. Oh, there's my phone again. It's just one of those days. I'm going to plow through because I just need to get this video done, and hopefully there'll be no more phone calls, so I'm just going to whip through this stuff, so that, because this is like the 4th time I've tried to record these. So into, that's knitting. Into crochet, I started a new project, which I'll try if I can, but I've got new software, so I don't know, is to put a picture in here of the shawl that I'm going to be crocheting, which is by Bernioli Designs, and it's in this lovely lace weight Malabrigo yarn, and this is just what I've done so far. It's actually quite wide actually. Just realised it's a few hundred crochet chain. So yeah, so this is going to be a beautiful lace shawl. I did get to a bit of a miscount when I got to the end here, so I'm just going to have to rip back a little bit and double check that I did it right. But yeah, it's beautiful soft yarn. So I originally was going to do the Advent shawl with this, but I've decided I'm going to have a lace shawl. I like crocheting Bernioli Designs shawls. Hers are for fall ply, I think, but I think this one's actually for lace weight, but most of her designs are for fall ply, but I do them anyway with lace weight and a 4mm hook, crochet hook, so that's what I'll be doing. My favourite hook is these higher anodized crochet hooks. So this one's the 4mm. You can tell it's well loved because it's fading where I put my thumb. So that's that one. I've shown you the sewing. So the next thing is haul. Years ago, about 7 years ago, when I first started getting back into knitting and buying hand-dyed skeins, I bought when we went to New Zealand, I bought a yarn winder, just an inexpensive one, from Ashford, and it was never fantastic to use because the metal clamp always fell out and everything like that when you're trying to do it. And then I also bought online just a cheap plastic umbrella style Swift for my yarn, and it's a pain because it catches, it's got all these loopy bits of metal that catch your thread, your yarn as you're trying to put it on the Swift, and it's just a nightmare. Anyway, the other day when Wayne was winding the yarn for me, he's like, that's it, just buy a new one and just be done with it. So I upgraded to a more expensive option, and I forget where I bought it from, some Australian online store, but I got a Licker yarn winder, like a ball winder, and it's beautiful. It's cherry wood and it's got the Licker engraved underneath there. It's got this for guiding your yarn, and this is so smooth it's like butter. So that is going to make winding yarn so much easier, especially for Wayne because he's the one who does it for me. And it's lovely and weighty. It has pads on the bottom to protect your table, and it also comes with a padded clamp. So it comes with a bag, I'll show you. It comes with this bag to put it in when you're not using it. It comes with oil. And this clamp is really strong, and it has like foam padding there, like neoprene foam padding. So that makes it much better to use. So yeah, so we got that, and then I decided instead of an umbrella swift, because they can be a pain in the bum. Oh, I just dropped that on the ground. I don't want Sooty getting it. I haven't got all the bits here, but you'll get the gist. Is I got an Amish style one from Chow Goo brand for about $78, I think it was. And you get it in pieces like this, and then you put these two together like that, so that's your legs, and it comes with a dowel rod, and you do the same with these arms. Is you sit, they got the little groove, you sit that on top, and then you put the dowel rod through there and through there, and then it spins around. And it has dowel rods to put here depending on how big your skein is. So you can stretch it out, and then it just spins around and it sits on your table. So it's perfect. I need to make a bag for it. This one didn't come with a bag. So I'll need to make a large bag to hold these bits so they don't get lost. It's a shame it, oh sorry about Sooty. It's a shame it didn't come with a bag, because there's lots of little parts that go with it. So anyways, I really love that haul. Very happy with it. The last thing that I have to tell you about is I went to a Wesleyan women's sip and paint brunch at Access Church, North Lakes. And this is the painting I did. I'm not a Bob Ross, but I like the colours in it. We got a number of pictures to choose from to sort of inspire our painting by, and so that's what I did. So I've just put a hook up there, just a command hook, and now it's going to go crooked. Anyway, hanging that up there. Anyway, I'll fix it later. Yeah, so that's what I did. It was a really nice day. I shared a video separate here on the channel, and yeah, it was a really nice lunch. And we had two of the girls from our table were the lunchtime entertainment, playing guitar and singing, and then we had a guest speaker, female guest speaker, and it was just a really nice day. So definitely, if you get an opportunity to do a sip and paint event, go for it. There was about 91 women, and we had volunteers going around and swapping out we had little plastic wine cups with water in to wash our brushes, and we got a baristed coffee. It was $35 for the day, and we got the canvas, the paint, paint brushes, a palette, and the girl guided us through, that was running it, guided us through the doing the art. And then we had volunteers coming around with the swapping out the water. We got a free baristed coffee and a beautiful lunch. They had a huge table of gluten-free stuff, which was great. So I had a nice brunch, and then we had musical entertainment and a guest speaker. So it was a great day out for $35. I also paid $10. You could opt to pay an extra $10, and that would subsidise a ticket for someone who couldn't afford to come, so that they could attend. So I did that, and I met some lovely people, and it was just a really fun day out. So if you get an opportunity to do something like that, definitely do it. It's lots of fun. Yeah, so sorry about Sooty. She doesn't normally bark much, so there must be something of interest that she's finding there. So anyway, so that's all for today, folks. And I'm using my Canon PowerShot G1X Mark III camera that Wayne got me a few years ago for vlogging, and it's the first time I'm finally using it, and the quality of the video is much better than what my phone does, because I broke my phone and then I had to buy a dodgy cheap one while I get my other phone fixed because it was insured, and it's really bad. The camera is terrible on it, so that's why I haven't been posting too much to Instagram, because the photos are terrible. But this one's great. I can download it and put it onto my computer. However, yesterday when I did my previous recording, I realised that the software that I normally use on my phone works a little bit different on the computer desktop, and so I'm a bit kerfuddled by it at the moment. So you probably won't see much bells and whistles from me on this front till I get used to that new software. But anyway, till next fortnight, happy stitching and crafting and whatever you're doing,